Chris Hemsworth feels thankful, honored to play Thor again in latest Marvel film. Actor Chris Hemsworth said Monday that he feels thankful and honored to again reprise the role of Thor, a superhero character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, in the upcoming Thor: Love and Thunder after more than a decade since his debut in 2011's Thor. "I feel very thankful and honored to play the character again. It's been an incredible experience," said Hemsworth. Hemsworth started playing Thor with the 2011 film of the same name and subsequently appeared in other MCU superhero films as the character based on the Norse mythological god, including Thor: The Dark World, 2013, Thor: Ragnarok, 2017, and Avengers: Endgame, 2019. Thor is depicted as one of the mightiest gods in the universe, using a powerful hammer called Mjolnir. Thor: Love and Thunder starts with Thor going on a quest for inner peace. But he gets involved in combat against Gore the Butcher, Christian Bale, a galactic killer who seeks the extinction of the gods. "Through each film and each time I played the character, Thor has been trying to figure out who he is, what his place in the world is and what his responsibility is," he said. He realizes that he is in servitude of others, and his duty in life is to help others. Director-writer Taika Waititi, who also took the helm of the 2017 installment Thor: Ragnarok, said he tried to focus on depicting Thor's midlife crisis from the beginning of the movie in a bid to give a fresh twist to the 2022 project. In Thor: Love and Thunder, he didn't know what he wants to do in his life and purpose and didn't know really where he was going. "He was lost," said the New Zealand filmmaker, who also stars in the 2022 project as Korg. "We see this in the beginning of the film. He's sitting under a tree, trying to meditate, trying to find out himself. But it isn't working," he said. The director expressed gratitude for support and love from Korean moviegoers, well known for their craze for Marvel films. Tom Cruise feels rewarded with fan support for Top Gun: Maverick. Top Gun: Maverick star Tom Cruise said Monday he felt tremendous pressure to make the sequel to the hit film released more than 3 decades ago, but felt rewarded when meeting in person with fans giving full support to him and his movie. "It's a privilege to be here. I'm so happy to see everyone. I missed you all," he said. It is his 10th official visit to South Korea, following his last trip in 2018 promoting Mission: Impossible Fallout. Top Gun: Maverick is about Captain Pete Maverick, played by Cruise, who returns to the United States Navy and trains a group of younger aviators for an urgent mission to bomb a foreign country's secret plant. The 59-year-old actor said he felt tremendous pressure to bring the audience back into the world of Top Gun 36 years after the release of the first film. "You feel the same world and the same character, trajectory and the same emotion, tone. It is 36 years later. That's what we were shooting for," he said. "It was a lot of pressure. I know a lot of fans have asked for it. I don't ever want to disappoint the fans." The film has gained larger than expected success worldwide since it was released in the US on May 27th. It became the second highest grossing film in 2022 with $885 million worldwide, following Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with $942.5 million. He said Top Gun: Maverick has not only big visual action scenes and amazing airborne combat sequences, but also a great personal story about universally personal values that resonate with all people around the world. "There's something very unique about the story," he said. "It has a great drama, big visual action for an audience, a great personal story about honor, friendship and family. I think these are values that we can all identify with and connect with." About the 3-hour red carpet event with hundreds of Korean fans held Sunday, he said it was very special for him to meet moviegoers in person and share a face-to-face cinematic experience with them that has been blocked for the past 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. "I know everyone went through such a challenging time," he said. "It was very important to all of us that we be able to come here in person and have that shared communal experience of watching the movie in a theater together. It was actually very beautiful after the time we went through." The Witch 2, more gripping, solid action thriller than original. With more action and a more coherent and solid story to its credit, The Witch, Part 2. The other 1 inch is more enjoyable and endearing than the original. This supernatural action flick broadened the franchise's appeal by telling the backstory of how Jae-yoon, Kim Dami, a teenage girl in the first part, was genetically created in a lab to be a child soldier, and introducing a handful of new characters intertwined with one another in the same universe. Fans will probably hang on now for the release of the final part of the trilogy and more chapters. Although its writer-director Park Chan-wook initially said he plans to make the series into a trilogy, he recently unveiled a desire to produce as many follow-ups as possible if he can afford to, because he has told only a tiny part of the story. The first film, The Witch, Part 1. The subversion, released in 2018, was acclaimed by critics for its smart story, stylish and gripping action, and the magnetic performance by the then-relative newcomer Kim. It also made a small box office success with 3.18 million viewers, drawing plenty of interest in further chapters in this story. But the sequel does not have Kim among the main cast. It, instead, is led by Jae-yoon's twin sister, novice actress Shin Se-ah, who was also created as part of a secret genetic engineering project codenamed Witch. Unlike the original that does not have much witchcraft, The Witch in the sequel may be a better fit for the franchise's title since she uses more supernatural powers to repel enemies than Jae-yoon. The only flaw in Park's otherwise imaginative screenplay for the sequel is the lack of any formidable villains, which results in lessening the thrill in the climax combat sequence. After the secret lab where the Witch project is underway in South Korea's southern resort island of Jeju is attacked by a mysterious group of intruders, Jae-yoon's twin sister escapes from the facility as the only survivor. The teenage subject who does not even have a name runs into Kyung-hae, Park Eun-bin, while running away, and comes to live together with her and her younger brother Daegil, Sun Ye-bin, at a cattle farm and gradually adapts to a normal life with their help. Being the project's first ever perfect prototype, however, the gifted girl is pursued by 3 different factions with different purposes. They are Jo-hyun, Seo Eun-soo, a former elite military sniper hired by the company behind the project, Mr. Jang, Lee Jong-suk, in charge of managing the facility, and 4 gifted assassins dispatched from a Shanghai lab of the international project. Jo-hyun visits Jeju with her foreign teammate upon a private request from the project's mastermind, Baek Chong-gwal, the twin sister of Professor Baek in the first installment, to kill the runaway experimental subject. Cho Min-soo, star of director Kim Ki-duk's award-winning Pietar, took a double role as the steely Professor Baek in the first part and mild-tempered and artistic Baek Chong-gwal in the sequel. Besides them, Yongdu, Jin-gu, a local thug who is in dispute with Kyung-hae's family over the ownership of the farm, also pursues the teenage girl for money after learning about her formidable supernatural power. With the first installment, the sequel is likely to earn a place in Korean film history as rare female-fronted action thrillers. But Shin was not as impressive as Seo Eun-soo or the female leader of the 4-member Chinese assassin group as far as action is concerned. Decision to leave visually stylish and ravishing love story by Park Chan-wook. Korean auteur Park Chan-wook's past award-winning films like Old Boy, 2003, Thirst, 2009, and The Handmaiden, 2016, are notorious for visceral eroticism and gory details of violence. Most of his critically acclaimed works, including Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, 2002, and Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, 2005, received O ratings for their high degrees of violence and sex. However, in his latest romance thriller Decision to Leave, which brought home Best Director at this year's Cannes Film Festival, the director refrained from such gruesome and cruel scenes. Instead, he focused more on sophisticatedly depicting sensual and romantic emotions and danger revealed in unconscious moments between a man and a woman. Ha-jun, Park Hae-illinois, is an elite detective well known for his obsessive infatuation for cold cases and his diligence. One day, a middle-aged man falls to his death from a mounting cliff and the case seems to be concluded as an accident. But there is something odd in the reaction of the man's Chinese wife, Sae-ray, Tang Wei, a nurse for the elderly. She emerges as a prime suspect as she shows no grief over her husband's death and even smiles when she talks about it. The detective continues the investigation and holds stakeouts to keep an eye on Sae-rae in order to find decisive evidence to accuse her of murder. After the stakeouts and in-person questionings, however, he is rather mesmerized by the woman's mysterious but quiet and elegant demeanor and her awkwardly formal way of speaking Korean. Ha-jun tries to clear Sae-rae of murder charges but becomes aware that the woman has obscured his professional eye. Even one of his closest colleagues points out that he is showing too much favor to the suspect and is messing up the investigation. To get away from her, Ha-jun moves to a new city where his wife works. But he runs into Sae-rae and her new husband there. He feels helpless with her nearby existence. Decision to Leave seems to be a familiar and common neo-noir film that tells the forbidden love between a male police officer and an attractive female suspect like the 1992 erotic thriller Basic Instinct. But the 138-minute movie does not use typical plot devices that many such love stories do. It creates more doubt and focuses more on the irresistible romantic relationship, while the two protagonists do not explicitly express their feelings and do their best for their spouses. Viewers may remain doubtful about Sae-rae from the beginning, but as the story goes on, they come to understand the emotions of her and Ha-jun, and the decisions they make. The mystic mood created by mist and fog that lays over the entire film and the vivid sounds of waves and wind effectively replace the director's signature electrifying scenes of violence and sexuality. The film's idiosyncratic tone works well with the restrained performance of the two lead actors, who showed exceptional on-screen chemistry in expressing complex and subtle emotions. And director Park does not fail to craft his new title with effortless humor and mouth-opening stylish mise-en-scene.